Thanks very much both for the question and the presentation and the very insightful contribution that have been made before. I have to say that it's not very often that I come on a panel and I think most of what I wanted to say has been said before the microphone even gets to me. But it's very nice, it's a very comfortable place to get at. Building, and really it's everything that's been said before, really, but building on that, I think going into some of the more detail, I think I hear the call to use GHS and to use the instruments that we currently have. One of the challenges we're seeing and we're facing in seeing that is really accessing the information about the very content, the very makeup of the materials and the products. We have general information about the number of materials, the number of substances that go into the material. When it comes to identifying what is used where in what quantity, that is information that just doesn't exist. And it's not for lack of asking or for lack of looking for the information, just that the information is dispersed along the supply chain, and there are resistance, just strong built-in resistance in the system for this information not to be made available. Thankfully, we have other things to build up on, such as there are some agreements in SciChem, and it was interesting to see SciChem being mentioned there because SciChem is a very powerful tool for precedent, because everything that is in SciChem is something that was built from a multi-stakeholder perspective. So this is already something that we know has strong support by everyone in the field. On the other hand, we know that it's been difficult to reach concrete phase out or to reach concrete risk reduction activities through SciChem. But if you look at the original SciChem documents, there is an objective, something that again has been agreed by everyone, that clarifies that any information that relates to health or environmental impact should not be kept confidential. And this is something that was adopted in 2005 and something that we're still struggling with all around the world. And so I think going back to these key principles and finding ways to articulate them and make them efficient could be something that would make all of the framework that is developed now actually efficient. Because it's one thing to have these beautiful principles, if we don't manage to implement and enforce them, that would be quite challenging. Another element that I think would be useful for us to think in how we approach the INC is this distinction between material and products. The way people think about the treaty, I wouldn't say different schools or different camps. People think, or there's also a lot of confusion where the treaty will be about plastic products or about the material itself, the vast amount of polymers and additives and combination thereof. And so I think going into that direction, clarifying this element, and distinguishing what criteria would apply to the material and to the material phase of the discussion and what criteria could apply to the products. And I understand from the project that you're thinking a lot of the criteria, it's something that would sit right in between, so that could influence both sides through the design. That is something definitely to look into and to explore.